Hi there, this is Matt with State of Flux here with a review for Bahubali 2, The Conclusion. And this is a fun epic that is a lot more fanciful and fantasy-filled than the first one, which was admittedly more of a grounded mythological epic. This one takes many flights of fancy that I really quite enjoyed. It really kicks into high gear when you're introduced to the lady love interest of the film, and the whole narrative is really kind of structured around these two women who are sort of governing the story and where Bahubali fits into this. And this is really quite a genius, pardon me, narrative in that it is both sequel and prequel to the original film. And while I appreciated the little more grounded take that the original one had, where this one starts working for me is how personal the story gets. One could argue that it has like shades of a telenovela in its soap opera qualities, but I would argue that that's not a bad thing. The thing that really makes it work is the sentimentality and stuff like that, and the action here is just so epic in its scope. It never quite gets the same action, grandiose action that you got at the end of the first film. However, where the action beats are here are so centered on characters that have established relationships and how those relationships kind of weave together to create this grand epic fight on a much more personal scale is really quite impressive. I also really liked, there's an action beat while we're talking about that, used with bow and arrows early on in the first act of the film, that I think is some of the best bow and arrow work I've ever seen in a movie. Usually films don't feature the use of a bow and arrow in any kind of interesting cinematic way. This one does. This far out paces anything that you saw on the TV show Arrow, or with Hawkeye and his TV show, or anything in the MCU, or like Katniss Everdeen in the Hunger Games. This is bow and arrow archery done right on a cinematic level. Do I think this movie is quite as good as the first one? I responded more to the first one. The first one pulled me in a lot faster than this one did because of that incredible opening scene, but I like how that incredible opening scene is reinterpreted in this film. By the point that happens in this film, I was so hardcore invested in what was going on, I was kind of shook, and the whole conclusion of this film is really quite spectacular. As I say, it may not be as grandiose in scope or scale as the first movie in that film's climax, but what you get here is an interpersonal climax that is grandiose because you care. This is SS Rajamouli sort of doing what he does best, balancing incredible action with philosophy and creating hero myths, the likes of which have never really been portrayed on screen to this level of success. He is an exceptional filmmaker, and I look forward to watching some of his other films. So thanks for the recommendation for these two films. You can also hear me talk briefly about RRR in both my review for that film, which you can find on my channel, but you can also check out what I have to say about that film for the best of 2022 so far, as well as the best of the decade so far. Both videos should be up, if not today, by the end of the day. So yes, thank you for watching, and thank you for the recommendations. I look forward to continuing on with these recommendations. I'm going to take a brief pause before I move on to Iga the Fly. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, I probably am not, but Iga the Fly is the next one I plan to tackle for the Rajamouli films. I got recommended a Netflix horror film from India that I'm going to probably tackle sometime next week, and I also want to start reviewing some of the classic Godzilla movies, so you have those to look forward to as well. Thanks for watching, and thanks for the recommendations. I always accept them, so drop them down in the comments below, and let me know, which did you like better? Did you like the first half of Bahubali or the second half better? I lean a touch more to the first half, but both halves are fantastic. Thanks for watching. Peace.